Once upon a time, in a lively village nestled in the heart of a great valley, there lived a young girl named Amora. Amora was bright and full of spirit, and everyone knew her as the girl with the silver tongue. She could talk for hours, spinning stories out of nothing, and her voice carried like the wind, echoing across the fields and forest. But while Amora's words were charming, she had one great flaw: she never knew when to stop. She talked and talked, often sharing things that were better left unsaid. Amora's friends, at first, enjoyed her company. They admired her tales and appreciated her cleverness. However, they soon discovered that nothing they told Amora ever stayed secret. If a friend confided in her about a crush, the whole village knew by the end of the day. If someone shared their dreams or fears, Amora couldn't resist retelling them with added embellishments, making them more exciting, if not entirely true. One day, her friend Mina told her about a private plan to surprise their teacher with a special gift for her birthday. Amora listened with wide eyes, nodding along as Mina explained the intricate details of the plan. But later that afternoon, while Amora was helping her mother at the village well, she couldn't help herself. She whispered to the other women there, telling them all about Mina's surprise, adding in her own flourishes. "Can you imagine?" Amora exclaimed, "Mina's planning to give her teacher a beautiful shawl woven by her own hands. And she even managed to save up for a silver brooch to go with it." The news spread quickly, and by the next day, nearly the whole village knew about the planned surprise. When Mina found out, she was devastated. The surprise was ruined, and everyone had heard that Amora had told them all. "Amora, why would you spoil it?" Mina asked, eyes brimming with tears. But Amora only shrugged, thinking it wasn't such a big deal. After all, she loved to talk and keep everyone entertained. Another time, Amora's friend Nia confided in her about a big opportunity. Nia had been selected for an apprenticeship with the village healer, and she was thrilled. But she wanted to keep it a secret until she was sure it would work out. Amora promised she wouldn't tell a soul. But later, when the village gathered for a festival, Amora found herself in a circle of people, their eyes on her, and she couldn't resist. She told them all about Nia's apprenticeship, making it sound as if Nia was already a skilled healer and knew every herb in the forest. When Nia learned that her secret was out, she felt embarrassed. She hadn't even told her family yet. She confronted Amora, but Amora simply laughed it off, thinking it was harmless. "Everyone was just so interested," she said. "I thought it would make you look impressive." But word of Amora's loose tongue soon spread. People grew wary of sharing anything with her, afraid that whatever they said would quickly become public knowledge, with added twists and turns. Amora couldn't understand why her friends started distancing themselves from her. She thought she was doing them a favor by making their lives more interesting. One day, a wise old woman from a neighboring village visited, bringing gifts and sharing wisdom with the villagers. She noticed how quiet everyone became whenever Amora joined their conversations, how they exchanged looks and whispers as soon as she was out of earshot. Intrigued, the old woman decided to test Amora's legendary love for talking. She approached her and asked a simple question: "Could you tell me how to reach the river on the other side of the valley?" Amora's eyes lit up. "Oh, I can tell you every path there, and there's quite a story with each one." She began, describing the trails, but she didn't stop there. She soon started describing every person who lived along the way, their habits, their quirks, and even their private affairs. She told the old woman about Farmer Olu, who accidentally spilled flour all over his prized shoes, but she exaggerated it, saying Olu had ruined all the flour in the village. She spoke of Lina, the quiet baker, hinting that Lina was secretly in love with the blacksmith, a story that was more her own invention than truth. She even told the woman about her neighbor's private argument with her husband, exaggerating every detail to make it sound like a dramatic saga. As Amora continued talking, her mouth began to stretch wider, though she was so engrossed in her stories that she barely noticed. With each tale, her mouth grew larger, making her words sound more exaggerated, even a bit strange. Yet, Amora kept going, describing each person with increasing drama. She moved on to talk about her friend Sod, who had once stumbled during a dance. But Amora embellished the story so much that she claimed Sod had tumbled right into a mud puddle and caused a scene, when, in truth, it had only been a small stumble. Even the old woman's eyes widened at the way Amora twisted small moments into grand sagas, all for a few moments of attention. Finally, when Amora finished her stories, her mouth had grown so large that it was almost twice its normal size. When Amora finally paused for breath, she noticed her mouth felt strange. She touched her face and gasped, her eyes widening in horror. What happened to me?" she stammered. The old woman looked at her knowingly and said, "Your mouth has grown to match the size of your words, child. You have spread tales that are not yours to tell, and now your words have taken up so much space, they can't stay contained." Panicked, Amora tried to close her mouth, but it remained stretched, as if it were hungry for more words. She ran to her friends, but they turned away, whispering to each other about the way she had shared their secrets. She tried to speak to her family, but they were ashamed of how she had hurt others with her gossip. Desperate, Amora returned to the old woman, begging her for help. "Please, make it stop. I didn't mean any harm. I only wanted to entertain and keep everyone happy." The wise woman sighed, placing a gentle hand on Amora's shoulder. "Words, my dear, are powerful. They are seeds that grow and spread. Plant too many without care, and they can turn into a tangled mess. If you truly want your mouth to return to normal, you must learn to speak wisely, to hold the secrets of others as carefully as you would hold your own." Amora nodded, willing to do anything to make things right. She spent the following days in silence, listening rather than speaking, and considering her words carefully before she spoke. When people confided in her, she kept their secrets safe, realizing how much trust was wrapped within those whispered words. Slowly, her mouth began to shrink, returning to its normal size. As Amora adjusted to her new life of careful speaking, the transformation in her character became evident to everyone. Where once she had filled every silence with chatter, she now listened intently, showing true interest in what others shared. She became known as the girl who could listen as well as she could speak, and people began to trust her once again. They admired how she would weigh each word before it left her mouth, thinking of its impact and choosing only to share what was kind and true. Amora's friends felt safe confiding in her once more, knowing she valued their trust. One day, Amora was sitting by the village well when a young child approached her, shyly asking for a story. Amora smiled, remembering how much joy her words had once brought, and she told the child a simple but beautiful tale. This time, there were no embellishments, no twisted details, only the pure joy of sharing. The story spread through the village, not because it was sensational or dramatic, but because it was heartfelt and true. From that day on, Amora's stories continued to inspire and entertain, and she finally understood the wise woman's words, that stories, like seeds, grow into something greater when planted with care. In the end, Amora's words became a gift, bringing warmth and trust to her village for many years to come.